Listen, I know we already showed you this, but we have to run it back again because, of course, a big brawl in Cowboys-Saints joint practice. But we have to highlight Saints tight end Brock Rechsteiner is the son of WWE Hall of Famer Scott Steiner. And as you can see here, boom, utilizing the family's skills, body slamming dude to the turf.
He's scrapping.
Things getting feisty. Trev, do you miss this part of camp?
Yes, because I'd stir the pot. I'm throwing a ball at somebody and I'm running behind my lineman.
Listen,
I'm not going to catch me.
Pot doesn't stir itself, I'm just saying.
Keep your helmet on, too. Make sure you do that whenever this happens. If you find yourself in an NFL brawl. I don't know how many of y'all going to find yourselves in that. Neither here nor there.
Von Miller, officially introduced by the Cowboys Tuesday, the two-time Super Bowl champion and 8-time Pro Bowler, is the latest addition to a revamped Dallas defense that looks to improve off of a league worst ranking in 2025. And as the locker room makes room for these new players, there's some number negotiations to take place as well.
I'm not going to get caught up in a number, but I did make some offers to him already that he can't. I feel like he can't really, come off of those. I think, a lifetime supply of chicken, I do it. So, whatever it takes to, to make it happen, whether it does or not. Like, I'm here to win games. I'm here to win a Super Bowl. A number would be nice, but I think the most important thing is to win a lot of these games, playing big games, and the number would just be an afterthought.
So when I first heard this, I thought he was talking about him offering like Bojangles or something. Then I remember.
Oh, no, he's got a chicken farm.
And
yeah, he took like a chicken raising class in college and then was like, I have found my passion. I just love the idea of Hunter like 30 years ago calling up Vaughn and like, hey, how's Friday to pick up my chicken? This feels just like a long-lasting buddy comedy.
He's cashing out forever.
It's just literally lifetime.
You hear the bells.
Oh, this happened. Cowboys-Saints joint practice got amongst it. But one thing I want to take a look at right here, because Saints tight end Brock Rechsteiner is the son of WWE Hall of Famer Scott Steiner. Just body slamming him right here.
Johnny, how you feel about it?
A little chippy, not the way we like to do business. Got to be better, but I got to look at the film. We're certainly not going to take, from anybody. But again, it was chippy on both sides, and like I said, I want our guys to play on the edge without going over the edge. One guy sounds like he might have thrown a punch, and that's why he left practice.
Bucs quarterback Baker Mayfield will play Saturday's second preseason game against the Chiefs. Head coach Todd Bowles says the team's other healthy starters will also see playing time against Kansas City as they gear up for the 2026 season. And as Mayfield enters the final year of his contract, he is ready to make a point.
I think we're going to shock a lot of people this year, and so I'm excited to just get on the road and do that.
Anything else? You're going to surprise people when you say you're going to shock people?
Yeah, I mean, listen, embellish it. There's no embellishing. I think you can't avoid it. There's the TVs everywhere. I think everybody's. Yeah. Oh, yeah, I am. Everybody's picking us probably to have a losing record, so we'll see.
Well, we'll see when Christian McCaffrey gets back on the field as well. The Niners' do-it-all tailback has been sidelined for a handful of practices for muscle tightness and nothing more, according to the team. Streets were wondering if this had something to do with his backfield brethren across the league getting paid, but Schefter has sources and is here to correct that.
Kyle Shanahan, the 49ers head coach, said that if it were not a joint practice today against the Chargers, Christian McCaffrey would have been out there. It just sounds like they're maintaining him and resting him and being smart with him in light of the fact that he's had some muscle tightness. I know some people have suggested maybe it's contract related. I'm told by the team that's not the case at all. They have no reason to believe this is contract related, despite the fact that a number of running backs have passed him up in salary. This is about being smart with Christian McCaffrey and making sure that he is physically ready when the season gets underway here in a few weeks.
Between Troy Aikman and the Cowboys, beyond the fact that he now works for the Dolphins. More on that in a second. But Aikman was appearing on the Dallas Dialogue with Dale podcast. Try saying that 5 times fast. Dale Hansen, the legendary WFAA sportscaster. Among other things, Aikman was asked whether he could envision and imagine that the Cowboys' last Super Bowl win was when he was their starting quarterback in 1995. Here's what Troy had to say.
It's hard to fathom. I mean, it really is, because we see it. We talk every year about parity. and how we've seen teams that have gone from last to first and teams that have not been historically very good, and yet they still make a run. They'll make it to a championship game. It's hard to really put your finger on it exactly why, because when you look at the number of regular season wins that they've had, they're probably top 5 over the last 2 decades, and yet it hasn't translated into the postseason. And the Cowboys fans, they deserve better. I do know that. I mean, this is the Cowboys, the flagship franchise, and the fact that the Cowboys in 30 years has not made it to a championship game. I mean, that's, let alone a Super Bowl. I mean, it's just, it's hard to fathom.
Unbelievable, yeah.
My favorite NFL stat currently, and it will continue to be this way, although it will never have as much symmetry and perfection as it has right now. First 30 Super Bowls, the Cowboys played in the game to get to the Super Bowl 16 times. Next 30 Super Bowls, Dallas Cowboys played in the game to get to the Super Bowl 0 times. That is incredible. More than half the time, the first time around, for the first 30, they were in the game to get to the Super Bowl. Not a single time. Unbelievable.
No, it's crazy.
It really is.
It's crazy. It's crazy to think I was a freshman in high school at that Steelers-Cowboys Super Bowl 30 game, and to think that, man, that was going to be the last time we see the Cowboys in the Super Bowl for a long, long time. Now, you know, I said to you earlier in the show, I said, yeah, it feels like Troy spouts off about the Cowboys a little bit more than usual. So, and I do wonder if there's something more there. You know, certainly the obvious thing is that, yes, they haven't included him in football decisions, which would be a great thing. I mean, yeah, Troy's smart as hell, knows the league backwards and frontwards. And we've talked about it. I mean, the Cowboys, the Jones have done some good things. We know that business-wise. They have an eye for talent. They got a little unlucky in a few years. Definitely. Got upset by the Giants in 2007. Probably were a better team, right? Rodgers, you know, makes an amazing throw against Jason Garrett and that team in 2016. The Des Bryant catch game, right? That's another one in 2014 where you go, hey, those teams were Super Bowl caliber, and they got a little unlucky in their approach getting the NFC Championship game. But all the other years goes back to an old saying that we like to talk about last year, and I say all the time. The circus don't go to the Super Bowls. And just too many years, there's been circus. Circus, bullcrap, contracts, distractions, whatever else, and that's not conducive to being a top-notch franchise that way.
Well, and think about this. You cited 3 examples in 30 years.
Yeah, I know.
Where they had a team that had a chance to get to the NFC Championship. The other 27 years.
Yeah.
No, it is amazing. The last time the Cowboys played in the Super Bowl, we had just found out that Jill was pregnant with my son, who will be 30 in less than a month.
Yeah.
And I was at the Steelers-Colts AFC Championship game the same
Jim
day
Harbaugh.
that the Cowboys beat the Packers.
Yeah.
They beat the Packers later that day to set the date for the Super Bowl 30 match between the Steelers and the Cowboys in Arizona. All right, one more from Troy, and this might shed some light on what you're saying. Here's Aikman on the reasons for the Cowboys' lack of success in the postseason.
I think that teams and organizations, whether it's sports, business, I think it all does start at the top, good or bad. I think starts at the top. I don't think Jerry would shy away from that. I think Jerry would certainly take responsibility. He'll take accountability if and when they win, and I think then you have to take responsibility when it hasn't worked out. You know, they've been going down this road for so long, and yet it hasn't translated into success in January, and there has to be a reason for that. You know, I'm not in the building. Everyone then has their opinion as to what it might be, but it just doesn't add up.
The common thread is ownership, especially when the owner is the GM. Because as Jerry Jones has said before, he was questioned by Bob Costas in this regard at one point, would you have fired yourself? Well, and Jerry said, I can't. Maybe I would, but I can't. So that's the common thread. Ownership, we've talked about this with the Jets. It applies to other teams, but also you make the owner the GM, and that's the common thread. That's the common denominator. And, yeah, I do think Troy's a little salty that Jerry hasn't hired him or relied on him or leaned on him. He's clearly wanted to be involved with the team, and the NFL foolishly allows Tom Brady and Troy Aikman to do it now. The Brady rules apply to Troy Aikman now with the ESPN role and the Dolphins role, but this is what he wanted. And he would have loved to have had it with the Cowboys.
Yeah.
And now he's got it with the Dolphins, and they play at least once every 4 years.
I mean, it would have made sense. I mean, it's the perfect thing. I mean, it's you know, you got a chance to go like Browns, Ravens into, hey, one of our great players, Ozzie Newsome's going to lead us into the promised land of the next future. Like, what speaks better about your team that way? Yeah, they've dropped the ball. The Jones have taken too much control, and yeah, they've done some good things like we've said, but they've done some other things where I'd go, they're not so good. So, and I think what even sheds more light on it too is that, yeah, not only the Dolphins hiring him, but how many ex-Cowboys players have come out recently to go, I'm shocked that Cowboys haven't hired Troy Aikman. Like, what the hell are they doing? You know, some of their best players in the history of their franchise are shocked by it, and I think that's